just have to plug in my phone as well, Can't just have it. Free ball on a live stream. What is my problem? Why can I not plug in my phone? This is crazy. Hold on. Give me a second here. All right. I've never had such a struggle. Okay. Yeah, let me know if you can hear me, guys. Give me a thumbs up. I am. Stefan is on a high. He just won some craziness. So today we got a pre-roll from MFNY. This is a live resin infused pre-roll Rainbow Belts 2.0. Time is a Rainbow Belts 2.0, which means I guess they did the juice of that plant on top of it. So the juice of its brothers were, placed inside this pre-roll. So these are nice. These are straight ones, like cigarettes instead of like cones, and they burn a little bit better than cones. So cheers, everyone. All right. Yeah, that's some goodness right there. Yeah, congratulations, Stefan. Like, you had to hit it sooner or later. Bringing one of them next time to the shop. Yeah, these are nice. So I got, like gummies. There's just too much of them. Okay, there's too much freaking gummies out there. I know a lot of people like gummies. What are you gonna do? There's just too much. I can't. All the samples. It's ridiculous. It makes you not want all the sugar. Is it starting? It is starting. Um, so let's discuss first, real quick, Spider-Man. Some people are under the impression that Spider-Man is gonna flop. Spider-Man, while it is not as explosive as it could have been, and it feels like Wizards dialed it in and kind of half-assed it, maybe because of what happened, okay? It is still big. It is still during a huge time in Magic the Gathering when people are buying the shit out of all these products, okay? And it has a lesser supply, so the distributors say, than Final Fantasy. Yes, it's not as crazed. Yes, there's no cereal, and the chase isn't as nuts as Final Fantasy. But all that being said, it is still Spider-Man. It is still this market, okay? This product, there will be a day of reckoning for Universes Beyond, where a product does not perform as well as projected. However, I do not think it is Spider-Man. I just don't see it. There are too many fans. There's just too much hype in Magic the Gathering right now. People are gonna open it. That's all. You see it not doing well. I don't understand how. I don't understand how. Why do you think this set is going to be the contrary to the market? I don't get that. I really don't get that opinion. I mean, I understand not liking the set or not being like a fan of Universes Beyond and not liking that whole crossover, I guess, stuff, right? Hit the like, guys, while you're here. Come on, let's get this popping. Hit the screen twice. Hey, Bob, how you doing? So, I agree, Stefan. No serialized hurts. However, there's a difference between not being as explosive as it could have been and failing. You understand what I'm saying there? What's been the most fun experience of my life so far? God damn. that's kind of a hell of an ask. You know, honestly, experiences, going places, and now it's kids. Like, they're freaking crazy. It's weird as hell. I didn't think it would be that way. That kids would be, like, I went to Japan and my wife, I'm like there, lonely and missing my kids, even though I'm with people. My wife sends me a picture of the babies. I'm like in tears in the middle of freaking this store in Tokyo because of like thinking about the babies. Uh, for the people who bought collector boxes at 1,000, I believe they're going to have a bad experiences. Bob, honestly, I think that's where it's gonna be, is 1,000. I don't think it's going to. I don't think it's gonna blow up, especially as fast as it could have been. I think 1,000 is a reasonable spot to expect Spider-Man to get to fairly quickly. Look, people are still ripping this. People are still into Magic. People still want to rip Magic. People still want to rip cards. That's gonna happen with this stuff, okay? It's gonna happen. And the people who are storing away boxes and boxes and boxes are still gonna store away this set. So, like, I don't know. To drop to 600, there's a difference between dropping and staying and dipping temporarily. Okay, like, if you think that they're gonna hit 600 for a minute, okay, I can see that. I, however, really don't think they're gonna stick at these spots. Like, barring unforeseen, crazy economy consequences of, like, a market crash or something. Like, what's gonna change? Tell me what's gonna change between Duskmorn being $600. You really think Spider-Man's gonna be the same price as Duskmorn? I just don't see the logic. I get, like, having a bias and not being happy that they didn't do justice to Spider-Man, right? I get this, but I don't understand where you guys are getting this logic of where the price is gonna be. Hell, okay. In 6 months, Bob, Stefan, if it's $600, I'll give you one of my repacks for free. $35 is kind of a $35 bet. But I really don't think it's gonna be like that, guys. I just don't understand why you think it's gonna be the same price as Duskmorn. Please tell me. I want to know. Take care, Four Keeps. That's good for you. Yeah, if you're eating no screens at the table, that's never good. I get that. I understand the perspective. I love vintage too. I love it. What can I say? But this is the market. I'm just trying to say that this is the market. Like, I don't understand where the discrepancies are coming from, guys. Like, it's kind of just what's happening out there. Have you looked at all these prices? Oh, Rugu. Let me show you something I do know. I do know you'll never make a comment around here again. Oh man. Anyway, like, I'm just trying to say, if Duskmorn is $600, like, there's no way that Spider-Man is gonna be $600. There just isn't. And it's not just the fact that it's Universes Beyond and Spider-Man. It's the fact of, like, the market right now. People are just heavily into this stuff. They're not gonna change it up on rumors and everything. I agree with that, Bob, but in 6 months, we'll see. But tell me why you think that Duskmorn is going to be $600, but Spider-Man can't be more. I gotta know that, because you know what I mean? Like, that's all. Hey, Robert's Table. It's been, yeah, it's been a while, man. You just missed out the Mercadian Masks box break. That was fun. I think it is still doing well. Not in comparison to someone foolishly paying $1,000 to open or as an investment. That's just irresponsible. I can agree that too. Add a Q&A sticker time you woke up today. That is the dumbest suggestion I've ever heard, YouTube. Like, oh, I want to know what time you guys woke up today. Ooh, what kind of stream? You know, oh, God. Sorry, it just YouTube popping up suggestions. Because Doctor Who collection boxes with serialized cards are $325. That's Doctor Who, man. It's like and you know, didn't they have like a fairly decent supply of Doctor Who? I don't know. And that's not gonna be $325 for long. Not gonna be $325 for long. With whoever is out there or whoever's in this market, these boxes are going. Like, I've been watching collector boxes in the past 2 weeks. It's getting silly out there. I'm gonna record that collector box video, and there will be, I'll be looking at all the sales and everything. Just we'll be going through it together, basically. That video as I'm updating and checking it out. They did a Deadpool Secret Lair, and it did fairly well. Yeah. So I don't know. I just don't. I get that Spider-Man could go down. I do. I just don't think it's going that way. I don't know what impetus it's going to take to slow the market down, because this market is on a freaking roll and crazy things are happening, and it's not just Magic, it's Pokemon and it's sports cards. Like, crazy things are happening. And it's gold and it's silver and other things, like, things are happening. There's no way to know collector box print runs. No doubt. I know. I get it. Tulip Bubble Mania. But, bro, this is kind of what I'm saying. Like, the Tulip Bubble isn't going to pop on Spider-Man. And I agree with that as well. That perspective is a bit skewed. It's very skewed. In fact, I would be the first to agree with you if it wasn't for the limited nature of this product and the market right now. Get it while it's hot. Yeah, that's basically manufactured scarcity in a small statement, concise statement. Rip and ship will be the same time, 8:30. It'll be Wednesday because I will be working on Monday. We will be opening. I will have a couple of vendors. There's a couple of deliveries. It's kind of a crazy day Monday. When I was there on Friday, cops came in. It's kind of crazy. We helped solve a crime. There was a lady passed out. Well, there was a lady found unconscious on the corner at 5 a.m. and our cameras caught it. So they were able to tell that the lady wasn't hit. She wasn't attacked or anything. She had just fallen unconscious. So, and she was still unconscious, like, at the hospital, so she couldn't tell them what happened to her. So they were investigating, and so we were able to prove that it was, something going on with her and not outside someone doing something. Yes, I saw that, Coach. Supposedly there are 25% less collector boxes of Spider-Man compared to Final Fantasy. For real. Keywords. Right now, the market is super fickle. Not so long ago, they were saying dual ads were heading to 5K during the raidless, reserveless mania. But, things happen. Events happen that change that, like Magic 30th, and the overprinting of some stuff. It's kind of crazy. So, it was funny when the cops walked in. At first, like, my first reaction from being like a 90s smoker, in the 90s, was adrenaline and fear. Meanwhile, I got so many products all around from, like, fresh deliveries in their faces. I'm like looking at freaking weed products I can't do nothing. It felt pretty good. Everything going to plummet in the winter? I don't know. You get a sweet detective cap from MKM for your. They're happy because it's one less like crime that they have to like you know figure out and file paperwork for. Cops don't want to file paperwork. I'll tell you that much. It was pretty funny. No, it wasn't me. I was upstairs dealing with the weed, guys. This was a downstairs deal with the security computer. I was just there to greet them, to let them in and talk to them while I'm dealing with the, deliveries I just had and inventory. Kind of crazy. Yo, straight up, I can't take the trade to work because the amount of stuff that I'm bringing home is too much to bring onto the trade with me. I brought a backpack to work on Friday. I walked out with a backpack full and a big box in my arms full of stuff. It is crazy. My point exactly, this current market with gotta have the collector boxes at any price is a super new phenomenon. We will see the staying power. All it takes is a small market sentiment change. It is, Sean, but I don't have say over that because it has to deal with liability. Historical MTG does better in the winter. However, that's not to say that's gonna be always the way it is, and maybe I can get people in on the companies that are handling that. Historical MTG does better in the winter. Yes, because people are home, and it shows for videos as well. There's more watching in November than there is in July, August. Bob, I agree that all it takes is a small market sentiment change. However, gotta have collector box at any price to. So I was thinking about this whole subject, and this is part of the video that I'm going to make when I discuss this. When collector boxes first started out in 2019, I was all about it. Because honestly, I saw with that market, I felt that those boxes presented just this type of opportunity. However, the months that followed began to cloud my thought process with doom and gloom and temporary BS. If I had just stuck to my guns, I would have a more full collection of these items that have gained in value. I would have gotten in earlier with other sets. But I feel like this is where it should have been from the beginning. Maybe not as crazy and explosive as it's been, but the prices for how rare they were supposed to have been, one and dones and small print runs, okay? With limited cards in the collector boxes only. With that information, and based on how crazy the market was in 2019, I had felt that it was headed here. Cynthia Williams sure did a number on my perspective. Like M30, I'm not one of those guys who was around forever. I'm in my driveway. Yes, I am hotboxing. Totally derailed me. M30 really messed up like how we look at Magic, and a lot of people who were around for a long time ended up leaving, and I didn't. Instead, I just leaned back from buying. And Bob, I'm not arguing the rarity of M30 or the fact that it's a collectible item or all this stuff. We discussed that. However, I can't support the company trying to reprint the reserve list. I just don't like that. I had crazy cars and I had them all stolen from my car. Bro, why did you have them all in your car? It's not good to carry all of them in your car. You know, leave the good ones at home. Yeah, man, we do the second part of the stream here in the car. We hotbox. You know, we've been the thing about the hotbox. It's not a new thing, and I still do it because I always did it. When I first started the channel, we were doing this, and at first I was doing it because I definitely had to smoke to be comfortable, among other things, in terms of being on a live stream or recording. You know, I'm very not camera shy, I guess camera shy, stage shy, or whatever. When you stand up in front of a class and you get nervous. But yeah, so that's how I said F it one day. I was smoking and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna just do this and just go live and start this channel and get it going. So we did, and I was smoking and hotboxing, and so it went like that. And so we kept it around too, even when the channel got a little bit bigger. Love the hotbox, yes. Napkin math, 4 times more rare than alpha. I agree, Bob. I was gonna go to a buddy's house to do some mega deck building. I had like 12 of my best decks in my car, along with tons of fetch lands. Oh boy, that sucks. Yeah, but you know what? You get older, you grow up. You can, if you would like to recollect, at least you know how to keep a collection focused now. But okay, so for me, it was getting over the anxiety. I don't have to smoke. In fact, it's kind of messed up. Before I got this job, after Japan, and I had like that good week again for a bunch of times, you know, I proved to myself I didn't really need or want to continue much longer. And I feel like this job will push me in that direction, because too much of a good thing, I don't know. When I look at all the effing gubbies, I'm like sickened. You are doing great though. I've been listening for a while. Oh, thank you, man. It took a while to get over that, to the point where I'm a bit more relaxed. Teddy bear backpack. Yes, it's here. It's here for the baby, you know. Yeah, no doubt. I read the comments and I get distracted. Indeed, coach. Indeed, I agree with you there too. Just because something's rare doesn't mean it's worthwhile. You know, there's some things in this world that are pretty rare, but pretty, like, you know, eh. But yeah, anyway, of course, I forgot where I was at. I'm smoking this crazy freaking infused thing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, honestly, this job, I think eventually it'll be to the point where the only time I do smoke is to try a new product or taste a new product or whatnot, because, yeah, it's just a lot. Like, you know, having to evaluate this stuff, these mofos are lucky they got me. Because let's just say these mofos are lucky they got me, because lesser men will be assed out on the couch analyzing these products, you know what I mean? And I'm not assed out on the couch. In fact, I'm getting stuff done. I'm setting up meetings and whatnot, and making contacts, and looking at orders and correcting them and approving them. There's shit happening, man. You know, when those other stores open, I have in my contract that I can renegotiate. We're gonna renegotiate because I asked for a different number than I'm getting. It's not a bad number, okay? I just asked for a different one. Let's just say that. So there will be some discussions. I will make this shit happen and make myself indispensable and hold the keys, and then we'll see. Then we'll see. But yeah, literally, guys, I don't see how it can fail. We're the closest dispensary to Madison Square Garden. Like, on a game night, what if we do, you know, ticket stubs 5% off or some crap like that, or like a free pre-roll with a $50 order? You know, like people coming out of a game, look up, oh, you know, they want to smoke. They look it up, the closest dispensary to them. Google's gonna give them us. And there's other like weed maps and stuff like that that have like the dispensaries on them. That's gonna show them us. And then they're gonna look at our website and they're gonna see that they can get, you know, percentage off for their ticket, and it's gonna be automatic, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna be in charge of stuff like that. It's just that the problem with dispensaries and things like that, the law is very specific about what type of discounts and promotions you can give, which is weird. The whole market is hobbled by the laws made by people who know nothing about the industry or how it works. And there's always going to be some dumb stuff. But yeah, it is what it is, right, guys? Like, we just got to learn to operate within those confines. And, you know, that's not against the question, Sean. They have 3 licenses, so meaning that 2 more shops are going to open up shortly after the first one. And they're not averse to getting more. So that's my position, is purchasing director for now. It's supposed to be brand manager, you know, general manager, except that what do you need a general manager for one store? You know what I mean? So you need a store manager, but you also need purchasing. So yeah. So that's where we're at. And that's why, again, I'm not getting paid what I want to be paid. However, I only have to go in 2 days a week to the city, so I think it's a draw. But honestly, I'm only willing to give 1 more day a week in the city, even when we have all the stores open. Like, it's a lot of travel. It's at least 2 hours each way, and that's the train with no traffic. And I've been taking my car because, again, samples everywhere. Like, I got like an ounce or 2 of weed in 1 day from freaking vendors. It was crazy. At least I won't have to pay for it anymore. That's a benefit, right? I guess. And I could freeze a bunch for a long time. Put it away in a little locked box for the end of the world, buried in the backyard, right? I mean, I'm sure you could do that with some things, but your ganja would be just straight up like crumbly dust. There's no amount of those 62% humidity things that you could put in a bag of herb buried in the backyard for some amount of time. Oh, ridiculous. But yeah, look, like, you know, it is a cool job that a lot of people would quite literally do a lot of things for. I'm very happy and very lucky to have that job. It's different. It's interesting. You know what? I'm glad. Maybe I'm not lucky. I do know what I'm doing. I put in the time and the effort in the industry from the manufacturing side. And shit, it's something I've researched for for years now. But it's also like this guy came from my teenage years. It's also a karma deal, man. We always welcome people into our group. When I say we, I'm saying I provided the ganja and the house. There's just a couple of other people there. I mean, my brother as well, you know. It's his house too, right? But like, I brought in people who had friends that they brought in, and these friends knew me from back then. And yeah, man, you know, like just treat the people's right and share your ganja, man. There's no reason to, like, you know, a friend brings a friend over. There's no reason to Bogart bowl. Pass that mofo around. You know, that's like some listening to Bob Marley and passing a blunt type experience. Like when you have that with some people, like, you know, it's like smoking the like a peace pipe, you know, like sharing a moment, chilling out and freaking conversing. I don't know. Anyway, that's what that came from, and I'm pretty happy that it is this way. Look, it's a career. Um, I have my own business that I'm still able to do, which that's another part about this is that I can still keep my business going. I have enough time only going into the city 2 days a week. Yeah, so that's a whole other thing, you know, like very, very fortunate that I'm able to work at this new interesting job, keep my previous business job, and have all this time still with the babies. So on that note, I'm done smoking. I tried this other guy's ganja today, Banzi 1305. Not bad, definitely good. Good flower. So all these brands, man. There's so many different things. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, it's late. It's time for me to go this time. There's no flea market tomorrow. It is raining right now. They canceled it. They called it. Do not bother. I will not be there. So, I pressed that. I didn't mean to do that yet. I have to unplug my car. How about that action? Anyway, yeah. So we'll leave it there. Oh, DJ, how you doing, man? I'm just signing off after all this madness, discussing ripping Mercadian masks, discussing Spider-Man, Mr. Spider-Man. He lives down the block, you know. After talking about the dispensary opening up. By the way, if anybody is in New York City at 29th and 8th, my shop's opening Monday. Be there. We got some merch that I gotta give. Bro, these brands come in. They don't just give me like samples of all the ganja. They give me all this merch too. Like just hats. This one brand gave me like a sleeve of them, like freaking 15 hats, different colors and styles. It's like, and then there's t-shirts and lanyards and stickers and lighters. It's like all this stuff. So it's like come to the dispensary, giving that stuff out. I wish I could give out the samples of ganja, but to like customers, to be like, hey, try this herb, here's a nugget. You just can't do that. That's not allowed. It's illegal. You know, because like if you could give out nugget to someone that they really like, you now have a customer, man, like a loyal customer, someone who's gonna buy that from you at your store. You know, I get all these. Okay, you know what I don't know what I'm gonna do with is the samples of concentrate. And I'm not talking hash or keef. Those are, you know what to do with those. Freaking throw in the bowl, right? I'm talking about all these crazy freaking, like, live rosins and cold water pressed, like, craziness. There's some crazy extracts, but it's like, man, I don't want to go the whole dab route. It seems like it's not wasted on me. It's more like maybe I can make some edibles out of it or something. But I look, I'm gonna try all those, all of the extracts. Yeah, butter, batter, all the sugar one as well. Like I got them all in the freezer, in the fridge, not in the freezer, in the fridge. That's cold cured. Is they just extract it and then it sits in the fridge. No shatter actually, which is strange. Shatter just kind of isn't a thing anymore. Um, Not even wax either. Um, but yeah, all this stuff is just sitting there because it's like, man, I don't need to get all this crazy equipment and get all involved like that. Like, bro, the pre-rolls that they've been giving me have been great because, simple and easy. Let's see. What else? Yeah, so when a vendor brings me a bunch of gummies and vapes, I'm just like, thank you, I will try them. I'll take a puff or two out of the vapes. You got to taste them to know, like, how their extract is going. How their extract tastes, like the type of ganja that they're using, the terpene profile that's in there, whether or not they're adding terpenes or taking them out, like, all this stuff. You gotta taste it, okay? But most of them I don't want to continue with. There's one or two brands that I've kept. The gummies, just like sugar cubes left and right. Ugh. Talk about another thing that gets really gross after a while. Like, okay, going out and getting gummies and enjoying them and, all that, right? But when you have to try a product and evaluate it for its efficacy, you have to take enough to feel. So imagine taking freaking a handful of goddamn sugar cubes flavored to hell often. You're gonna be sick of that stuff, okay? So when they bring me gummies and vapes, I'm very much like, bleh, making that face, the emoji face that's just like the lines for the mouth and the eyes. Yeah, that's the face I'm making. But look, I'll because people like those products, I'm going to evaluate them. That being said, when a vendor brings in flour and pre-rolls and, like, different edibles like chocolate and stuff, okay, that's like, I'm like, nice. That's gonna be more for me to actually enjoy myself as well. Hello, hot dice. Yes, that emoji, exactly. Thank you. That, especially when they're like, we got gummies. It's like, thing is though, right? Right? People, when they walk into a dispensary, especially if they're not that experienced, and if they want something, they're saying, can I have, they're not saying edibles, they're not saying cannabis, they're saying, can I have gummies? That's all. Take that as you will. So you gotta have gummies, even though I kind of hate them. Just now, I used to like them. I just can't anymore. Generic gummy cubes, man. Everybody's got them, and they all are basically the same, very baseline. Vapes are very different, and they can be very different. Those you very much have to evaluate more. Sometimes gummies, like, you can just try one for the flavor, but you have to try from a couple of different ones. Like, you do have to see if they work too, because not all edibles are created equal. Even still, the whole dosing thing is like, one of my pet peeves. And even in New York, with its regulations and everything, comes with a certificate of analysis. It's been through the lab. Even with all that, people still get away with stuff like, oh, there's 100 milligrams of rosin in there, 86% rosin, so it only means there's 86 milligrams in there. At least in New York, everything has been scienced to shit, so it's super power and super concentrated, so there's not much of a discrepancy. But back in the day, market, when the industry was just starting out, it was pretty crazy how it went like that. I like when they have CBD and other stuff included, also CBN, I imagine. But yeah, nowadays there's a lot more different cannabinoids available in different products. Like I have pure THCA powder coming into the store, which is like, what are you even gonna do with that? I don't know. Throw it on top of a bowl, right? I guess I'll try it eventually when it comes in. I'm gonna request some because I have no idea how that even smokes. But like, there's some crazy stuff you can get nowadays. But honestly, you don't even want that. The full spectrum with all the different cannabinoids, fine. Take that and add it on top of weed, right? Because then it's got the full spectrum. But having that individually by itself, it's like the soul is pulled out of a thing. You know what I mean? You can have the chemical that does the deed, but then where's the? It's like a sound in a dead space or an echoing space or like a full space. Very different, you know? So yeah, that's like a sound, one note in an empty, in a space that absorbs sound, like one of those sound killing rooms, versus an orchestra playing in a concert hall. That's a decent analogy, but that's pretty much, you know, that sound in that dead room can be pretty extreme, but it's not going to sound as good as the concert and the orchestra. Gummy THC and CBD for sleep. Honestly, it's not that anymore. It's CBN for sleep. Everybody adds CBD as well, but the CBN is what everybody's adding for sleep. CBG, for some reason, is daytime one. CBC as well as daytime. THCV. What is that one? Because there's these effect-based vapes where it's like, go, party, have fun, F yourself, but you know, and it's all like different ratios of minor cannabinoids, but, and you could tell which ones they're marketing for, like, you know, uppity activities like sativas, or like chill activities like indicas. You know, but nowadays the lines between indica, sativa, and like what they do has been so blurred and muddied. It's such ridiculous. Like, I had this one product, an extreme smelling freaking flower, great, very strong, felt like an indica, but it was an 80% sativa. But that's because these hybrids nowadays, like how muddied their genes are, it's pretty crazy. I know, Bob, I was thinking that too. I'm like, but it's already crazy what people are doing. Like, there's all these under your tongue to dissolve it type shit, and like all these crazy methods that are available, that it's kind of interesting. The market here, so I visited Colorado when the market was pretty new. I was in California again when it was kind of new. I've done some, so again, it was in Jersey when that one was new. It's a little more ahead of New York, but New York is pretty advanced. They've gone very far, very fast. I was a medical New York patient maybe 10 years ago, but back then to now, the difference, it's a whole other world. And especially the equipment has advanced pretty fast too. It's pretty nice. Mudblood plants, yeah, you couldn't be more correct. Definitely a mess. But you know, so now it's more about finding a bud or a product that you like and sticking with that, because it really is a mess out there, and everything is a mess. Like I've been looking at so many products this past month and a half, not only like in my hands but on the internet, doing all this research, and it's just like everybody needs to chill the F out with having 15 different flavors of gummies and like 18 different mood-based vapes. Like it's kind of crazy. Legacy line, I don't know. I miss actual strains. Yeah, so that's what I've been aiming for in my place is two things. One, to provide space for micro grows to have as much shelf space as the multi-state operations. You gotta have multi-state operations, guys. God forbid. um, I've been trying to focus on micro grows first and smaller in-state brands only. And I've been trying to focus on recognizable strains. However, that is impossible, and it's a bunch of muddied craziness. Period. I tried to include some recognizable strains, put it that way. Blue Dream is everywhere. I don't know why that became the most popular. It was okay back in the day. It was decent. I liked it, but like, why did it become the ubiquitous? I don't know, but it is. Like, where's that Alien OG or Mars OG good bud that like I can't find anymore? Skywalker you can find here and there. um I liked Skywalker OG, was one of my favorites from back in the day. King Louis was always good, and these are brands that I've gotten into, and not Alien and not the Mars OG. um those are the ones I didn't get in the store. I can't find those anymore. But I got Skywalker. I got all types of good stuff from back in the day. 15 years ago, I got my hands AK-47. I have a bunch of pre-rolls of AK-47. Broke off like a dry sponge. Oof. That doesn't sound great. Tahoe Alien here too. Nice. In New York City. Yeah, this AK-47 is definitely a New York City strain from back in the day. And yeah, I just bought a bunch of pre-rolls actually of AK-47. Hopefully they're not dry. Oh, in the best way. Okay. I thought you were saying it's like one of these freaking powder nugs that you left in a closet for a year and you're like, hey, look at this. Yeah, but yeah, I got some. I think I got like 100 pre-rolls of AK-47, and you know what? I don't know whether that's a lot or nothing. You know, like, do I need 5 a day, 2 a day, 1, 0? I have no idea. All I know is I got about 60 to 80 grand in inventory in, and supposedly New York dispensaries do 5 to 15 grand in sales a day. I'm aiming to have a 10-day to 3-week inventory turnover rate. I'm really not trying to carry inventory. That's where these places go wrong. You want to freaking flip it, roll it, keep it going. Yeah, because stuff that sticks around, you know, it's just a liability at that point. You're gonna get robbed. I know, right? It's not a great area, but it's not the worst area either. I mean, it's New York. Hey, look, if somebody comes in with guns, I'll be like, and what would you like, sir? I will have no problem. Like, I'm not about to get freaking shot for some fucking weed. Like, I just heard a story about somebody getting shot in a freaking dome for some weed in New York. It's like, why is there people still getting shot for weed in New York? Like, what? What's the matter? I know where you live, right? God. Yeah, it's silly. So, like, yeah, I would have no problem. I would fold, like, the worst hand in poker. Like a deuce and a three of different suits. How about that? With no freaking matches on your Texas Hold'em center cards. You know what I mean? The river. What is it? What is the terms? I never played Hold'em. Well, you know what? That's wrong. I played it a few times. It's been a very long time. Maybe 10 years. Something like that. Anyway, guys, on that note, it's silly now. I'm gonna go inside. I'm tired. It's time to go. It's dark. Take care, everyone. I'll see you soon. Yes, the flop, the turn, the river. So the river. I was right. The river. Take care, everyone. I'll catch you next month, Saturday, 8 p.m. again on the first Saturday of the month. Every week now, we are doing live streams during the week. We were doing it Wednesday. It's got to change. It's going to be, I'm sorry, we were doing it Monday, and it's got to change. We're doing it Wednesday now, 8:30 p.m. as well. Anyway, take care. Have a good one, guys. I'll catch you soon. And anybody watching the recording of this, remember to like and subscribe. Check out my Patreon. You're going to buy any cards, remember to use the affiliate link in the description. You patrons are the best. Subscribers, you people, you know, keep it going. Watch the stuff. Keep the videos going. Remember to like them. All that stuff. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.